Hey guys, it's Bart Johnson here. Today I want to discuss with you the difference between prime lenses and zoom lenses. Something that every filmmaker should know and something that every filmmaker has to think about when deciding what lenses to include in their kit. So most people have probably heard of both prime and zoom lenses and probably have a general understanding of how they differ, but let me go over it very quickly just so that we're on the same page. Now, a prime lens is a lens with a fixed focal length. That means it can't zoom and it's set to its specific focal length that it was designed and built for. A zoom lens, on the other hand, has a range of focal lengths that it can cover, and therefore it's able to zoom and hit all of those different focal lengths, all with just using one lens. So the question then comes, if you can get a zoom lens that could cover the range of, an entire set of prime lenses, why would you ever want to go with prime lenses? Well, prime lenses actually do have some advantages, and I want to go over those right now. Prime lenses, because they are built for a single focal length, they tend to be smaller, lighter, cheaper, and sharper than most of the zoom lenses that you'll find out there. Now, the reason that they're smaller and lighter has to do with the fact that since they are a set single focal length, they don't require as many glass elements inside, and they don't require as many moving glass elements inside to reach various focal lengths. This means you're getting a smaller lens and a lighter lens overall as a package. Now, I also said that they tend to be sharper than zoom lenses, and this also has to do with the amount of glass inside of them. Anytime you add glass to a lens, anytime you add elements, it's adding the possibility for light to be distorted or wasted as it travels through the lens. That's why fewer elements in these prime lenses generally result in sharper images and also faster apertures, because the lens doesn't waste as much light coming through it and can get more light to your sensor. Now, zoom lenses obviously have their benefit too. The biggest one obviously being that they can zoom, meaning that you can cover a range of focal lengths with a single lens. Now, while I said that primes tend to be sharper, tend to be lighter, and tend to be smaller, obviously that varies on what kind of prime lens you're dealing with. If you're dealing with a big cinema prime lens, it's probably heavier than a DSLR zoom lens. But a general rule is that the primes are going to be sharper, and that they're going to be cheaper, and that they're going to be smaller. Zoom lenses and zoom lens technology is coming a long way, so the gap in sharpness between primes and zooms is actually shrinking, and they're getting very, very close, but you're talking about some pretty expensive zoom lenses to get that. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, another thing to keep in mind, I mentioned weight. Now, I mentioned that a single prime lens is going to be lighter than a single zoom lens. But consider this, if you have a single zoom lens that covers the focal range of, say, 4 or even 5 prime lenses, then overall your kit is going to be lighter if you go with a zoom lens as opposed to bringing 5 prime lenses. So it's all going to vary on the way that you work and how much you want to carry with you and what you really need performance-wise out of your lenses. Now, speaking on that point of how you work and what's going to work best for you, it's going to be something different for every shooter and for every production. You need to think about how you're going to be working on your project and which type of lenses are going to be appropriate for it. If you're going and running around all day in a run and gun documentary style, or even if you have to shoot a ton of stuff back to back to back in various locations, you're probably not going to want to go with prime lenses. You're probably going to want to have a zoom. You're going to want to have that flexibility to zoom in, zoom out, no matter where your camera's positioned, be able to adjust your framing very quickly with just a twist of the ring and get the shot and the framing that you're looking for. A zoom lens is going to be perfect for that type of work. If you're working on a production where maybe it's a more narrative film, or maybe it's a commercial, or it's something where you have time to ahead of time select your lens, select your focal length, you have time to make lens changes and get everything set, reposition the camera and anything else, then prime lenses would be a perfect option for you. You're gonna get that improved quality and you're gonna get an amazing result out of them. You just have to be able to budget the time into your schedule to really make the selection of the focal length and to make the lens swaps, because it is something that eats up time, and time on shoots is something that we never seem to have enough of. So there you go, guys. I hope that gives you a basic overview of the difference between zoom and prime lenses and why you might want to go for one or the other. Like I said, it really depends not only on the way that you shoot, but the way that you're going to be shooting on your particular project. I actually own a full set of prime lenses as well as the equal range of focal lengths in zoom lenses, because sometimes I need to move quickly and sometimes I have more time and I can break out the primes. If you guys want more information on lenses, I actually did an article, a blog post article for my friends over at the Forge Studios, which is the ultimate lens buying guide. So go ahead and take a look at that. It covers the difference between primes and zooms, but it also covers a lot of other information if you're looking into buying lenses. So I highly recommend you go check that article out. I really hope everything helped you guys out here today, guys, and I'll see you later.